Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Tuesday, January 21st, and the energies in the day adds up and reduced to number 4 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. When it came to today's day, I said ooh for a few different reasons, but let's just hope like it's probably not what I think. So when it comes to the spirit guidance for today, we have the whale energy, and the whale energy brings me to the importance of emotional balance, emotional stability. And I love that it's in the upright position because hopefully that's a good sign that we have our emotions in check. When I look at today's energy, I think about how, say, yesterday, for some of us, we felt torn, dealing with something that felt like our private life and our public life felt like they were pulling on us in different ways. And it felt like we were stuck between a rock and a hard place, or it could be, say, your boss and what's happening at work, or your colleagues and then your family and what they're expecting of you at home. And it's like you're being pulled on from those two directions, and it feels like it's about everybody else and not you. And when it comes to today's energy, there's still something similar happening within that. But then the moon has entered into Scorpio, still a part of that T-square, with the sun in Aquarius and Mars in Cancer. And there's an opposition between Mars and Cancer along with Mercury in Capricorn. So when I look at the T-square that the moon is a part of, the fact that the moon just entered into Scorpio, whenever the moon enters into Scorpio, for me, you hear me say it all the time, it's an opportunity for shadow work. Because different things will come up and you will feel them very intensely wherever your life is out of whack. This is where you can't lie to yourself, because the moon is the way we nurture ourselves. And in the sign of Scorpio, we nurture ourselves by protecting ourselves. We nurture ourselves by defending ourselves. It's like when I think of the moon in Capricorn, I think of someone saying you better stay strapped. Like the moon in Scorpio is like somebody saying you better stay strapped, in the sense that Scorpio energy is always anticipating what's going to happen next, or the possibilities of what can happen in order to stay safe. And my mind does work like that, with my Mercury there. It's like I'm always like standing at a bird's eye view and looking down at a thing and thinking about all possible scenarios. I remember one time someone told me that they saw something somewhere about a sign that was put up to help people who are possibly being trafficked at like rest areas or whatnot. And I couldn't help but think, what if it's the people, like if it's a $1 billion business, what if it's the same people who's taking them as putting up the signs and fronting as, someone to help them, only to, bring them back in when they think that they're getting help to get out. And it's like, that's just my mind. It's like I'm always looking at the possibilities of everything, to the point that it could be exhausting sometimes. Like I had to learn how to redirect my attention to different things so that I don't exhaust myself anticipating possible scenarios. It's like, say you're a soldier and you're always assessing your environment and everything to make sure that you're safe. And with the moon there, the inner world is nurtured at the thought of like having a checklist and observing everything to make sure that it is safe. And that is being squared by Sun and Aquarius. And when I think of Sun and Aquarius and Scorpio energy, I think of how Aquarian energy deals with the friend groups, and Scorpio energy is like, don't bring them people over here type of vibe. Don't bring nobody over here type of vibe. Whereas Scorpio energy is good by itself, where Aquarian energy deals with friends, groups. So there's something challenging to the moon in Scorpio where that's concerned. And then Mars energy in Cancer and the square to the moon in Scorpio where Mars in Cancer is concerned. And when I think of, say, Mars energy in Cancer, Cancer and Scorpio are similar in ways, but when it comes to, say, Cancer energy and Scorpio energy, if Scorpio doesn't like you, you won't be confused. Where if Cancer doesn't like you, you don't know for sure. Like, yeah, they might they might ignore you sometimes, but to me, it more will seem like gaslighting, because when there's moments where you might be ignored, but then other moments, something else. I think of, like, say, an example that comes to mind is like, say someone ignores you, but then you run into them in the hallway and they're like, hey girl, how you been? Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. They chop it up real quick and go their own way. Where it's like they were ignoring you, but you don't know if they were ignoring you for sure, because when y'all just interacted real quick, when y'all ran into each other, it didn't feel like there was a problem. Where with the Scorpio energy, like, they might straight up look at you and roll their damn eyes, or look at you and give you a look and you just know, and y'all cross each other in the hall and their whole energy is just saying, like, keep your distance. So with the T-square being made to the moon, it brings me to the inner world being in survival mode. There's something about survival mode where the inner world is concerned today. And the energies in the day adding up and reducing to the number 4 vibration. The number 4 energy is such a crash out energy to me. It's such a crash out energy because the number 4 energy takes itself way too serious. And whenever the number 4 is present, we'll find ourselves obsessing over our security and our stability when it comes to something. The number 4 energy is one that is terrified at the thought of poverty and not being stable. And that's so similar to Scorpio energy. So definitely something about today's energy where we could find ourselves like worrying about, like, you know, the worst case scenarios when it comes to stuff. And I had me a little moment the other day where I had me a crash out moment where me and God had a firm talk where I'm like, you know, God, this is effed up and I'm unfair. And this human experience is some BS. Like, I felt like some Will Smith movie where things feel challenging to him. Things are challenging for him in the movie. And he's good at putting his best foot forward until one day he just breaks down. Where I didn't have any real things going on, but at the same time, I just felt like things should be things should be different. Like, things should be different. And I crashed out, had my moment in my journal. I was upset. Me and God got a real relationship going on. So I say how I feel, very raw, very real. Said how I feel. But then after, like, you know, some time after, I felt so silly because I realized how good my life is and how ungrateful I could be, and how, you know, a lot of things are set up for me to feel the way how I felt, and I fell into it. It was one of those days where I fell into it. A few things weren't going my way, and it felt like everything wasn't going my way, just from a few things not going my way. And that could be that kind of energy today. Like, I heard a saying somewhere, and when I heard it, it kind of went over my head, and then it revisited my mind a few days ago. And the saying that I heard was something to the effects of, you worry about the things that you don't trust God with. So whether you believe in God, the universe, whatever it is that you believe in, you know, it's up to you, to each his own. I believe in something because based on the guidance that I've experienced in this life, there is absolutely no way that I've been doing any of this on my own. Absolutely no way. Like, I think highly of myself, but there is absolutely no way that I've been doing any of this on my own, whether it's my higher self, whatever. But anyways, you know, you worry about the things you can't trust God with. And when I really sat and thought about that, like, it just came into my mind. I heard it. When I heard it, it went over my head. I heard it and I was like, ah. But then it went over my head. But then it came back into my mind at the right time. I don't remember what I was fussing over. And that thought came to mind. You worry about the things you can't trust God with. And it's like, what can't I trust God with? And then when I said that, I don't know, it's like everything vanished. It was the wildest thing. And you know, we live in a universe that's mental. So if the universe is mental, then everything is happening in the mind. And sometimes all it takes is a simple shift in perspective. And just from that shift in perspective, it's like, I think of like, say when a person goes to get a reading. And when you go and get a reading, the reader to me is picking up on the energy based on the path that you're on. And something can happen and you could shift your course. And from shifting your course, you start to create a new path for yourself. So, you know, at the time of the reading, they're picking up energetically the seeds you've planted based on the path that you're going down. But that all could change. Or I feel like from a good reading, they could tell you what they see. And within you, you know that like, you know, that you resonate with that based on the path you're on. Make some changes and shift some things. For me, that's where I'll get certain dreams. And I was speaking about that in a pick a card reading on Patreon, where I was speaking about the major arcana tarot cards and the minor and giving an example. Where for me, a major arcana would be me having a dream that my grandfather passed. When I had the dream, I didn't know it was a real dream. I didn't know it was going to be real. I just thought it was a dream. But at the same time, I was so happy that it was a dream. So while he was visiting at the time, because of the dream, I was able to be very present and intentional with him. So when he did pass, I felt I felt like I was given a golden opportunity of a lifetime because of that dream. So to me, a major arcana energy to me is something that's coming that you can't change. But intuition or premonition of this thing that you can't change will help you to pretty much embrace the outcome of it, or will help you to, it's all about you, how you embrace the outcome of it is what I would say with a major arcana. Like, this thing is happening, you can't stop it, but it comes down to how you perceive the outcome of it, what you make of it happening that you can't change. Like, I can't change the fact that my grandfather is passing, but, you know, I can show up and be present and enjoy the time that I have with him, where I'm sure a lot of people wish they knew certain things were going to happen so that they could have been more present and enjoy a thing. So to me, that's a major arcana, something coming, you can't stop it. It's all about how you pretty much, what you make of the experience of it. Where a minor arcana for me is having a dream, and from the dream, you're able to make certain changes in your world and stop a possible outcome. It's something that can be stopped. The majors can't be stopped, but the minors can be stopped. So when it comes back to, say, the mind being, you know, we living in a universe that's mental. And if the universe is mental, then the way how you pretty much operate this reality, the control panels are within the mind. And all it takes sometimes is a shift in perspective, and that shift in perspective will change your entire course. Change the entire course you're on, just like a minor arcana. So it's like this universe is like a combination of major and minor. Major meaning there's some things that are happening and it just is what it is, and you have to make the most of the cards that you're dealt. Those are the majors. And then the minors are some things that are happening, and you get to decide, you get to influence how that's going to be. It's like having a dream about someone before meeting them. And because you had the dream about them before meeting them, you're able to operate within the situation based on that foresight that you have, opposed to, say, you got the foresight, you overlooked it, and you got entangled into something that you didn't have to get entangled into, because you had already had the guidance and you were able to shift the course, but you didn't because you didn't pay attention to it. Because that's happened to me a few times, and that's how I learned to trust my dreams, where I would have dreams and things will play out And sometimes it'll be premonitions where I'm getting ready for work. I'm putting my fruits in the bag. I'm getting ready for work, getting ready to go out the door. And a certain conversation will play in my mind. It's like I'll have a future glimpse of an interaction and it'll play out in my mind. And then in the moment in the salon, it's like the thing will play out and then I'll react to it. And then it's not until after I react to it. It's like, oh shoot, I had this premonition and I saw this coming, but I still got caught up in it. And then over time, I'm preparing for work or doing whatever. I'm in the shower, I'm doing whatever. And a glimpse of the interaction will play out in my mind. And over time now, instead of reacting, I'm able to recognize the pattern and see, okay, this is about to play out now. So instead of me being over opinionated in a situation and sharing my views the way I would, based on what I saw play out, I approach it different and the whole situation gets to play out in a different way. So it's just powerful how all that works. Let's pause for a bit. I am proud of the services that I offer and excited to tell you about them. If it would be your first time booking with me, then I recommend the natal chart and numerology awareness coaching session. For a while, that was the only service I offered, along with the 30 minutes tarot reading, which is still available if you're interested. I noticed the pattern. At the end of the natal chart and numerology coaching sessions, some of you would ask me for a follow-up service options for additional clarity and guidance to assist you with whatever you're going through at the moment. I kept saying, I'll look into it. I don't know why it took me so long. Finally, I have created that option along with the service option to book a solo return chart reading for those of you who are strategic and like to plan ahead. Everything you need to know is within the description box below. Let's get back into the video. So when it comes to today's energy, it brings me to the importance of worrying about the things that you don't trust God with, worrying about the things you don't trust the Creator with, worrying about the things you don't trust the universe with. So you only worry and take on the things that you don't trust the universe with. And when you really think about that, when I really sat on that, when I really reflected on that, I realized how silly it was, how silly it is. Because, when it comes to say life, like building muscles in a gym, you can't just go to the gym once. You have to be consistent in order to build and maintain your muscles. It's the same thing when it comes to growth and evolution and transformation. It's like something will click for us. Like one day it clicked for me that, oh my goodness, I think I'm addicted to worrying. And when that clicked for me, for a while, I would redirect myself from worrying about just about anything, always trying to be ahead of everything, especially with that strong Scorpion stellium in my chart and that Virgo rising, always looking at the patterns. So it's like when I became aware of that, I stopped it for a while, but some way, somehow the mind was able to creatively start doing it again. And a few days ago, like I said, that thought came to mind. Only worry about the things I don't trust God with. And when I think about it, it's like, what don't I trust God with? What don't I trust that God can handle? What do I think that I need to handle because God can't handle it? When I thought about that, like I said, it's like something lifted off my shoulders and it felt like that perspective opened up a whole new world or path for me. And I love that the Three of Swords energy comes out in the reversal position, because in the upright position, the Three of Swords energy brings me to the thought of us intentionally choosing to focus on things that breaks our own heart. It's like me choosing to worry about something, but in the moment of me worrying, I think that I am being responsible. Because there was a point where I felt like it was irresponsible not to think about certain things, not to put energy into certain things. Like being responsible is me worrying about it. Where over time I realized that me worrying about it is actually me creating. So there's a lot of noise or feedback outside. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys as they're doing some major construction out there. But yeah, like it clicked for me that it's silly to spend my energy worrying about things, in the sense that it's irresponsible to act like we don't see what's happening. Meaning, like, say if my car gives a notification that something needs to be done, I'm gonna act on it immediately, because a $300 problem or a $400 problem can escalate to a $4,000 problem quickly, for the simple fact that you ignored it and you act like it wasn't there. That's a different situation. So whenever, I find that I have things to worry about, I ask myself, what can I do about this thing? And I make sure I do everything within my power where this thing is concerned. And whatever is not in my power where this thing is concerned, this is where I have to leave it to the Creator. I have to leave the rest to the Creator. So when it comes to today's energy, when you find yourself worrying or feeling overwhelmed or stressed about a thing or the next, ask yourself, do I not trust the Creator with this? Do I not trust the universe with this? And for me, it could be as simple as me having big goals for myself when it comes to certain things. Me challenging myself when it comes to certain things, because I like to challenge myself. So with me always wanting to challenge myself, I'm always up to something. And with me always being up to something, it's like, I'm constantly like, okay, is this going to work out? Is that going to work out? But no, I trust the process. I trust the process. So when it comes to today's energy, it's all about trusting the process. Because like I was saying, with the Three of Swords energy in the reversal position, I'm glad it came out in the reversal position, because in the upright, it's like we're choosing to focus on things that put a dagger in our heart. We're in the reversal position. It's like me saying, first realizing that, wow, I might be addicted to worrying. And when it comes to being addicted to worrying, I think about how our body keeps a memory for everything, and how the body normally is used to feeling a certain way. So sometimes when there's no reason to feel a certain way, the body goes into how it normally feels, because that's what it's used to. And then the mind will find something to justify the feeling within the body. And that's where my mind will come up with things to worry about. And I have to recognize that by being present and, present with my emotions. So I redirect that energy by shifting my perspective. When it comes to the thing to worry about, like I said, if I've done everything within my power, then what am I doing here? What am I doing here? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this to myself? And when it comes to today's energy, that's something to consider. Mars is the ruler of the day. Mars is a part of that T square. But Mars is also being positively aspected with what's going on in Pisces, the stellium over in Pisces, and Uranus and Taurus. So with the positive things that are happening with Mars, brings me to possibilities when it comes to transforming your financial situation, transforming the stability in your world, and transforming the stability in your world when it comes to either the way you're eating, your financial situation, or just the structure that governs your life, is being able to see a way out when it comes to that stuff. So when it comes to today's energy, yes, on one side, we are a little bit like, some of us are a little bit paranoid, trying to anticipate every possible worst case scenario to protect ourselves. But then on another side of things, we see a way out when it comes to certain things. So I feel like there's that split energy when it comes to today. But on a day like today, pay attention to what it is that you're feeling, because whatever it is that you're feeling will show you where your foundation is weak. And wherever your foundation is weak, you want to go to the root of, you want to go to the root of that area in your life. You want to go to the root of it in the sense that, what is the cycle, the system that governs this area of my life? And is it working for me, or do I need to make changes? It was a pleasure sharing this message with you. Before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a green heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.